Hello, and welcome to another inspiring episode of Global Desi Women. I'm your host, Arti Solanki, joined by my wonderful co host, Bhavana Shelley and Karishma Shelley. Together, we are here to celebrate the stories of women who are shaping our world and blending tradition with innovation. Today's episode is an extra special as we welcome an incredible woman from India, Shruti Asher, and unfortunately, her partner Mona was not able to join us today because of her health. But we really appreciate, that Shruti was able to join us. This dynamic duo behind Breathing Fabrics and their brand called Vithika Curated Weaves. We're going to talk about that today. Shruti is a fashion designer with a passion of creating sustainable and beautiful textiles. And Mona has a background of being a journalist who brings her storytelling skills to the business, have built something truly unique. They collaborate with over 100 weavers across India to design one of a kind of fabric which supporting traditional craftsmanship and working closely with NGOs to ensure their creation empower communities. Ladies, we are so excited and to have Shruti here to share her journey and her vision. Welcome to the podcast. We truly, truly, like I said, appreciate your time. And I know it's very, very early in India, but you still made time for us. So that's really appreciated. Before we get started, I would like Shruti to, introduce to our listeners and tell us a little bit about maybe your personal life, your background, and then we can dive into really your baby, I guess you can call it, right? Your
Yep.
company, because I know
Yeah,
my company, I always call it as my baby. So, so
absolutely.
let's hear from you, Shruti. Welcome again.
Thank you, Arti and Bhavana and Karishma, for this opportunity. The privilege is absolutely mine, and I really would love to share the experiences that would empower other women when they listen to this podcast. So, one of the things that I want to say is that, my name is Shruti Asher, of course, and my company's name is Breathing Fabrics Company. Why we named it is because we wanted to bring the breathables, back to the for people's usages. In India, there's a lot of fast fashion going on, okay, and this is completely missing the sustainable part. So it is our little bit of our effort that we want to improve the society, also give back to the communities, and also create awareness amongst the younger generations about what our art forms are and how they are dying and how we are going to revive them. So that's about my company. And my brand name is Vithika Curated Weaves by Shruti and Mona. And Vithika Curated Weaves has a very deeper meaning in Sanskrit, which means creating new pathways.
Wow.
And yeah, it's in Sanskrit. Yeah. So we started this journey at the age of 48. That is around 2.5 years ago. And, for most of the women in India, this is the age when they want to be with family and retire and do all of that. And we were like jumping and we wanted to start this company. And we didn't know the whereabouts, nor we had any wherewithal of it. But yes, we did a lot of research. We went and approached these villages. We started from different villages of the country, meeting the artists, the weavers, the painters, and the artisans, whoever were in, they were expert and skillful. And that's how the whole idea began.
Wow. So it was that something like along with your partner, eh, was it like a thought that just popped like, okay, yes, we want to start a company, or was that something that you've talked about for a long time and it was like, okay, yes, this is really something I want to do and something was holding back and then now is the time for you to start?
So, this thought was there in my head from the last 7 to 8 years, but I didn't have the courage to go break away from my current work that I was doing because I was in a very comfortable space. But I used to keep sharing with Mona. Mona is, by the way, my best friend from last 32 years. We've been college friends. So she knows in and out of me more than my husband would know, obviously, because we are always together. So, and then it was one of the COVID times, when we met for dinner after a long time. And she says, even I want to do something else. And she said, let's just start. Let's see whatever happens. And our husbands, both our husbands, especially Mona's husband, is very, very actively involved in managing and putting structures for our company because he's an entrepreneur, he's an industrialist. And my husband, of course, he's there to put his marketing and PR because he's into marketing. So these, we four of them, we met over and then we just decided to go ahead. And 9th April 2022, this particular company came into being.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Right.
Fantastic. So,
Very nice. So, Shruti, did you have any kind of experience before this? Like, I believe you have some background in kind of fabric or maybe fashion designing and so forth. So that must have definitely helped you with what you wanted to do. Is that right?
Yes, so fashion designing is the degree, so called, but my entire family comes from textile background, my paternal side, and we used to own mills in Mumbai years ago. So
Oh,
it ran
wow.
in the blood, I guess. And even my brother was into garments, and I used to support him. I used to manage the production then as well. So, it has always been somewhere associated. I was suffocated in what I was currently doing. And that's when I said, let me take the leap of faith.
Yes.
knowing about Mona, I know she's not here. It's very surprising as a journalist. She her background is journalist, and is she still working for the magazine Chitralekha, or she's not?
She is writing for Chitralekha, but not as full time. She never used to do that. She takes interviews basically of all the women based who have achieved a lot in their life at whatever
Mm.
struggles, ups and downs. Like we are doing a podcast, she takes interviews and she does it like a freelancing.
Oh wow,
Okay.
nice,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, we've
yeah,
Because
we've
we,
grown up reading Chitralekha, and
yeah,
we really truly missed the opportunity to meet her, but probably next time.
yeah.
But that's something, amazing that from a journalist to getting into the fashion, it's a big, completely different industries, and yet you all, like you said, you all came together and all the brainstorming, and that's how the company was born. So that's really inspiring. So to in order to collaborate with so many different weavers across the country, how did you ensure their work and their artistry, like, are preserved while creating something unique for your brand? How did you do that? Like, how did you collaborate with them? How did you find them? What were the steps that were taken?
So initially, what we did is we zeroed down on a couple of forms of art that we wanted to support.
Hmm.
One, basically, because we both are Gujaratis, and I'm from Kutch region. So
Mm,
Kutch, if you look at the array of fabrics and the array of artisans and the form of arts, it's enormous potential it has. So
mm,
what we did is we began. I did my research before we went over there, and the research involved looking out for artisans, looking some for some YouTube videos, because it was a big gap between my last stint and then beginning again. So
yes.
we just looked at it. I did my research, and then we decided to go and visit these places, and we
Nice.
had no background. So when we went over there, we had to deal with whatever they had. We had to buy that stuff, and we
Mm,
had to showcase it. And within 6 months, we were at that point where we began to do our own designs and working with them. So we zeroed down on certain artisans. Now we would know X, but next time we go, we know 10X, then we know 20X. So
mm,
every time we go, we always multiply, and our knowledge, of course, and with the number of artisans and the form of arts.
I
mm.
know.
I know,
Yeah.
because each state also has a different kind of, we
Yeah.
all have our different ethnic wears, and each state has different designs, different colors, maybe different form of art. So that also brings us so much variety, I guess you can say it, in your, designing part
Yeah.
aspects.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, plus
Variety and
trust in
dimensions.
the, yeah, plus building that trust with the weavers and the artists, because they do, they're in the rural areas. A lot of time they do get cheated. They probably feel less, not getting enough credit for their work or whatever. So do you do anything with assuring them that their work is kind of secured, and
Well
it's credited,
compensated. Yeah.
well compensated?
Yeah, so we always take care of our artisans. Now, there are certain artisans, like, India has changed its face.
Mm,
That India's richest district is in Kutch. Richest, like the maximum deposits in a bank is in Kutch.
yeah.
So our artisans have gone a very long way. So there are categories of artisans. There are very rich artisans. There are the ones who are struggling still. So whatever the category is, what we do is we assure them that once we buy the product or we give them the order, we are going to pay them 100% the moment we get it delivered. There is no
Mm,
credit or anything that we seek from them. So
mm,
that's how we began. But now at this point of time, they are assured that, oh, we are there and our art form is supported. So
Mm.
they are like kind of very, very happy with the way the things go. And my mother tongue is also Kachi. So that plays a very, very important role in doing that.
yeah.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
The conversation becomes very easy.
Yeah.
And do you, when you get the material or whatever product that you buy from them, do you then actually convert it into dresses, or do you just market it the way they give it to you?
So there are two aspects to it. When we began, we were dealing only in fabrics
Mm,
because that was our forte. I mean, we didn't want to jump into too many things because it becomes very difficult to handle so many different art forms. If I'm looking at Kutch itself, right now I'm dealing into 35 articles or different art forms from only Kutch.
mm,
Separately, Gujarat, other places is separate. So what we did is we started getting the fabrics, we started selling them. Now we have a lot of clients in US, we have in Dubai, we have in Australia. They started telling us that we don't have anyone to get it stitched. So why don't
mm,
you do that?
Mm,
And then we began. So we do personalized stitching. We don't have as such ready-mades. When we go for exhibitions, we do keep kaftans which are like free size. But other than that, we do customized stitching per person, per size, and we give it to our tailoring unit, which is based in Mumbai.
I
mm,
see.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
completely personalized.
That's
Interesting.
interesting. And
Interesting.
and most of your marketing done through exhibitions and maybe websites or Facebook. How do you
We do
approach your
Facebook
customers?
Lives. We have
Okay.
Facebook Lives and we do Instagram. We post every day. We have two posts on Instagrams, whatever
Mm,
new we are launching. And every Sunday we have a segment where we share our clients' pictures, what they have got from us and even stitched from us, or just the fabric and they've got some beautiful, or maybe a sari, whatever they are
mm,
taking on from us.
mm,
So Sunday is that segment. And Saturday we used to have a segment which was called Shruti's Saturday Snippets. So every art form, every Saturday, I used to go into deep and explain it, why this art form is expensive or why it is like that.
Mm,
mm,
So people are not aware about, say bandage. Now they think bandage is only from Gujarat. But
mm,
no, bandage in Gujarat also comes from three different parts and it comes from Rajasthan as well. It comes from South India as well, where it is known as Sunguri. So,
mm.
educating people was the core thing for us because people are not aware of it at
yeah.
all.
Even I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, it's really important because as a generation that grew up in the US, we are so interested in Indian fashion, but we are not familiar with
Yeah.
Indian fashion to the level that Indians are. So it's really important to get that education. If there's an avenue for us to get that education, I think it's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when I work with the artisans, more than the art form, I am looking at the evolution of that art form when I'm talking with them. My conversations are always based out of why this color combination or why this kind of blocks. Like in Ajrak is a form of art which
Mm,
came from the Sindh region. Right now, the Sindh region is in Pakistan. But I'm talking about the Harappan civilization. It started at that time,
wow.
4,000 years ago. you know.
Wow.
So the art form that they have, the fabric, why the fabric expands in summer, why does it contract, and its benefits. Why they use only natural colors? How do they get the black color? How do they get the blue color? I'm interested in knowing all from them. So my conversation, more than that work, whatever we do, goes around the research that I'm doing with them because it makes my job easier
Yeah, I guess you
and
can
interesting.
design your fabric according to what information you get from them, because then it makes it easier for you rather than picking the colors. Okay, I want this and this, but then when
Yeah.
you go to them, they'll be like, okay, I can't mix these two colors or whatever. So it's easier for you to even work with them, knowing how and why that is made for that
Yeah.
reason. So
And the most surprising part is there are so many different forms of art which we even didn't know about when we began. Okay. And there are so many art forms which are intertwined with each other. Like if I'm looking at Ajrak, I'm looking at Kalamkari from the south of India. Their techniques are absolutely the same, like preparing the base fabric, treating it with natural herde flowers, dipping the fabric in buffalo milk so that, when they do the painting, it does not spread out. The whole
wow.
process in Kalamkari, there are 27 processes through which the fabric passes. In Ajrak, there are 16 processes.
Wow.
So, and the similarities, like if we look at Kutchi weaving in Gujarat, I mean in Kutch, we have a kind of shawls, the warm merino wool shawls. They are woven there. That's an art. Now that you also find the extra weft, which we call it as extra weft or needle weaving, also in West Bengal in Jamdanis. So the intertwining of these art forms really makes us understand how we are one as a country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Especially it's kind of at one point. I mean, I really appreciate that you are actually trying to revive that the whole art form. Otherwise, looking at the fashion industry, like everything has been industrialized, that the fabric has been booming and big factories. Even the embroideries now, most of the things are done by machines and stuff. And uh, with that, the art form really was struggling at some point. I think, for you to work with them and trying to revive that, I think it's really important as well for the country to keep that art form.
Yeah,
So
and not only that, I think Shruti also mentioned one time before the interview, she mentioned that she also works with a lot of different NGOs, right? And
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that. How do you work
Yeah.
with them? And
So we work with three different NGOs. In Bombay, we have an NGO called the Design Lab. With them, we are working to make our bags, our tote bags, which we give to people or clients when they shop from us.
mm,
Okay, and we have one bag which is in Gujarati or Marathi it is called Madar Part. It's a basic fabric, pure cotton, hand woven. It has a base color of fabric which is like this beige color, and we have our brand logo printed, and we put all the expensive saris or whatever expensive things you buy in that as a packing. Then we pack it in our tote bags. So this women, there are more than 2,000 women who are downtrodden, either they are abused or they are widowed. So this design lab, they work with designers like Manish Malhotra, Archana Kochar. They take their whatever leftovers, as we call them, as the leftover fabrics, and they make beautiful fabric with with that whole leftover fabric, and we make totes out of it.
oh,
mm,
wow.
And we have our brand logo, we have our number, we have Instagram handle, all printed on that. That's done by this. And then we have one very big NGO. There are 50 women working in Kutch where we get our embroideries done. Now,
mm,
these women are basically married off at the age of 10 or 12, and now they are widows at a very young age, and they have a family to support. So, whatever embroidery work we need to do, the handwork especially, we send it across to them.
Mm,
right.
Yeah.
wow. Wow. That is
Is
that
it
is really great because that just helps, the community, and at the same time, working and fulfilling your dreams, but making sure that you're helping the community and also working with these women that are incredibly artistic, but yet they have their own maybe the financial problems or whatever they're going through, but it helps them create their life as well. So that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Like the
So
villages
Shruti,
in Kutch, they don't have electricity at all. They
Mm.
have only one school,
Oh,
only
wow.
one school. So there are no street lights when you visit. And if you're late in the night, you won't find your way out unless you have your car around you. And you can't take the car around in the whole village. So, that is the condition in which these women are working.
wow, wow. So, Shruti, do you find difficulty competing with the normal fashion where the fabrics are not important, right? They'll put all jazzy stuff because I know when NRIs they go out to shop, they've been given all kinds of jazzy stuff. The fabric might be really cheap
Yeah.
and the work might also be cheap, but then it's maybe a copy of Manish Malhotra or something like that. How do you see yourself competing against that market? Because that's just have taken off and still the fabric would be cheap, but it's still expensive. It's not, they're still making a lot of money off of it. So how do
Yeah.
you find yourself, one side educating people that no, this is a good stuff, but yet it's expensive. So how do you manage that?
So basically, we are blessed that whichever client I look at, whether it's an NRI or it is a Indian client, and basically we have very classified clients too. We have women who are working in the Supreme Courts. We have the Supreme Court of India. Then we have women who are income tax officers' wives. We have that kind of classified kind of a community, and they all know about this art form. But Bhavna, there's only 1% of people in the whole country who are aware about these handicrafts.
Mm.
And those are the people who come to us. So I have never explained myself as a fabric that, okay, the Sabyasachi one is, okay, it's a fake fabric or, anything less than that. We, we have never come across so far like that.
Right.
But, and I feel that, the competition comes amongst them because they are into that kind of the jazzy stuff. Whatever you will find with me is all natural. So you won't find that kind of a blingy thing. Yeah, we can get it handwork done, but that is how we remain in our own, domain, wherein we don't
Right.
want to compromise on the fabric. So we get a
Absolutely.
lot of calls from manufacturers from Surat. They say, "Oh, our fabric is pure. You take it." So once they say Surat, we are very clear it's not going to be a pure fabric. you know they try to reduce it by mixing fabrics and their yarn, and you don't know the quality of their fabric. So yes, you are right, the NRIs are definitely fooled by them, by these brands and so-called, not even the brands, the copies of.
Yeah,
So maybe the brands would do the right work, but I would say there are a lot of copies. You go to any store, oh, Sabyasachi one, oh, we have it, like that. So that
right,
is
right.
the fear point. And I don't think we have a competition with regards to these designers. We are not even anywhere near them. But we can only justify the authenticity of the product that we stand for.
Okay.
Right, right.
No,
It's a
that's good.
complete different market. It's a complete different market. What
Yeah.
they're doing is completely different from what you're doing. So that's amazing. So besides like individually selling your products, um, do you like do you see yourself designing and selling these fabrics on a bigger scale?
That is what we are envisaging in the next couple of years. The issue when you do something which is all hand done, the handwork, or
Mm,
the production. So if just to give you an example, if I'm doing ajrak fabric, the length which is the highest I can get, or the longest fabric I can get, is 6 meters.
Oh, wow.
mm,
Okay, so one than or one roll of fabric of one print, one color comes in 6 meters because we have the production issue. So what they do is they wash these fabrics manually. Okay, and the
mm,
fabric becomes heavy when it's put in water with all the color and all the blocks and everything. So it becomes a challenge if you tell them to do 10 meters. And suppose
mm,
they have dyed the fabric today in an indigo color, and next day the temperatures of that region go higher, the hand temperature of the worker changes, the color of the fabric alters. So the
Mm,
challenge that we have is giving that same line, like what Fab India does. They do the production of 5,000 meters of one design, one color,
Yeah.
and yet there are problems, because it's not a problem actually, it's a technical thing, for such natural fabrics. But we do look for opportunities. Like we have this woolen stuff which is so exclusive, the woolen shawls, the woolen stoles, all done with hand weaving and handwork. And people are crazy for the kaftans also, like what we make. So
Mm.
that is something which really we are looking forward to. And we want to expand in more countries, and more states in the US, and have this kind of awareness where people will, they spend dollars and dollars in buying the stuff which is, compromised or not sustainable. And,
Mm.
this is something you would invest in,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really informing, especially considering I am I love the Indian fashion industry and I want to learn more, but it's just very complicated to learn when you go online and you see kind of, oh, and this is what's in trend and this is what's trending and this is what's trending. I'm kind of curious from your perspective after doing all of this research. I mean, I've learned so much already, but after doing all of this research, is there something that you wish all Indian women knew about fabrics from like a general perspective, and kind of what is that one thing that you wish that was generally known to all women that currently may not be?
Women do not know the different forms of art which are practiced in different states and what do they signify.
Mm.
Like, being a Gujarati, we wear bandage during the auspicious occasions. So why do we wear that? Why do we wear only certain colors? Or why a certain fabric? Like we wear a garchola. So garchola is only made in cotton. It has the natural colors in it, and it has certain motifs, okay, in the garchola. So why that? Similarly, a jamdani, why that? That people do not know about. So they go towards the fast fashion. So you can compare the life in New York and life in India is more or less similar. People are always running, so they do not have time to even understand this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so really tying in fashion to meaning for kind of our cultures and our
Yeah,
practices.
yeah,
Because I think it's one thing for us, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, is that our generation, we do all these religious, cultural practices, but we don't even know the meanings for what the practices
yes,
are. And there's even more meanings. It's not just the practices themselves that have meaning, but what we wear has meaning and the patterns have meaning. And there is so much more to our culture that we just touch the very surface level. And it's great to see that you're educating women,
yeah.
you're educating people about there's more to fabrics and more to fashion than just something that's shiny and cool as fast fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the part that it's sustainability, because I think more and more, even I think outside of India, people are more looking into that, because, you know, just so that not just eco-friendly, but it's also good for the environment. Also, we are helping people. We are keeping our culture alive. We are keeping our art alive. So that is, I feel like you guys are doing an excellent job on that. That is fantastic. I'm really inspired by you, Shruti. This is like mind blowing, and I hope our listeners also are having really an amazing time listening and learning from you. One question I had was that while you know balancing, like we talked about before, but what challenges have you faced while in balancing traditional craftsmanship with the modern demands, like a bit, for innovation, for sustainability? What are the challenges that you've gone through for that?
The biggest challenge that we faced was, convincing our artisans to have modern blocks. They
Mm,
have their traditional designs, they have their traditional weaves. So they don't want to, sway from that. They want to stick to that. Oh, no, this works. So, when you put in your perspective, so initially it was like, okay, we'll do this blocking, this blocking. Okay, we have these blocks. How do we arrange it and all of that? And it is right now evolved to such an aspect that I give them the design for the blocks, like the inspiration. Especially right now in India, you can see the backdrop of my wall. It's all the pitchwai. So, the cows, the lotuses are too much in and in demand. So, incorporating that into this. And the biggest challenge is all our artisans in Kutch, especially the Ajrak artisans, they are all Muslims.
Mm.
So for them, doing a cow is a no-no. Doing any animal motif is a no-no.
Mm.
And they broke away from it. And our biggest and the best-selling articles come from this whole
Mm.
category of the pitchwai.
Wow. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
because you also have to make sure the designs are going to be appealing to the global audience, not just if
Yes.
you're trying to grow globally, then you also have to make sure that they're appealing to the global audience as well. So
Yes.
you have to, I guess, balance between the cultural essence of those,
Yeah.
artists, and also you have to balance it between what is in demand currently. So,
Yes.
And at the same time, I mean, the authenticity of the original art should also not get compromised while trying to add some modern element to it. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why they're sticked on to their own way of doing things, because that's what they know from centuries and centuries, or however many years they've been passed on that art. So that could also be a challenge for them to balancing it out.
yeah, yeah.
But they are very, very evolving. Like they are always ready to learn. My
Mm.
youngest artisan is only 20-year-old,
Oh, wow.
and that's his third generation into Ajrak.
Wow.
So he's getting married this month at the age of 20. So he was doing a course last year. He started. There is an NGO in Kutch. It's in Gandhidham. It is known as Somaya Kalavidya. They help these artisans' children who stay there like a Gurukul system. 15 days they stay there. They develop their art form and deeper meaning. The people who have got the degrees and who have evolved over a period of time, they are teachers or gurus. So when
Mm.
he was setting up his line, so once they complete the course, they're supposed to display it in a fashion show. Imagine
Wow.
in a small village they're doing this. Okay,
Wow.
he called me and he said, I have the knowledge of the art, okay, and I have the knowledge of the blocks and the colors, but I know that you have the knowledge of setting up the blocking and what garments I should make. So he called me specially to get supported in what articles should he go for. Like, should he make kaftans? He should make jackets. He should make scarves or saris. And how would be the color palette should be. So that was something which I was excited about because I never thought he would ask me this, being an artisan himself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. Wow. So what do you say that what is the most rewarding part of this journey? Like personally and professionally, what would you say is the most rewarding?
See, for me personally, the kind of interactions we have with the different humans on day-to-day basis, be it with my artisans, that is always there, every day there. But being it with our, clients who are now family to us. Like
Mm.
there are some clients. I had a client last night. She came to the studio on Saturday. She came yesterday to pick up her stuff. She was not willing to go. She's saying, "This is a such a safe space. I feel so zoned out when I come here. I forget all my worries and. So that is one of the most rewarding part to me personally.
Mm.
You know.
That's
Yeah.
really awesome that your clients are becoming family.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting that, you're taking this at a global level and still remaining that same type of mentality that, the clients are family. Can you talk a little bit about how it was maybe challenges or kind of how you succeeded at creating such a great clientele? Because I think
Yeah.
that's a success in itself to kind of span globally while still staying as kind of this very homey type of company.
Yeah, stay
Right.
rooted, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, what happened is when we began, we both are very approachable. Now, if you look at an online business, you know that the business owners are never available. It's always their teams or their managers who are, kind of interacting with the clients. It is completely Mona and me who are interacting with the clients. That
Mm.
is number one. No matter where we are, how busy we are, we always answer their calls. We always respond to their messages. So if in the night, 2 a.m. also, like we have clients from US, so you know the timings are crazy. So they
Yeah.
would message us, is this piece available? They're watching our live and they want to check out. So we are there to answer even at that hour. And the phone is only with me or Mona, either of us. And we are okay, so they say, I like this color but I don't like this design. Okay, so can you give us 15 days, we'll get it made,
Mm.
like that.
Mm. So really
Nice.
staying
So
personalized with your clients
yes,
and making sure that, you and Mona are there to kind of be there for any needs. So that's really important when it comes to kind of
yeah,
building up your business.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Uh,
Shruti, where is your local
Studio.
showroom?
it's in Mumbai. It's a small home studio.
Okay,
It's in Mumbai. And we do like in-person clients, we have lot now in Mumbai. It's only by appointments.
I see.
But we
Okay.
have a lot of video calls with our US clients. Like I had one with my US client yesterday, one with the Dubai client yesterday. So we also do a lot of video calling because what happens is our live timings do not match with international timings.
Mm.
So to accommodate that, the client will message, okay, I want to have a video call. Even locally, yes, like today I have a 12:30 p.m. call with an Indian client. She has bought a lot of stuff from us and she wants to get it stitched, all the wedding collection.
Mm.
So we have to set up a call with her to finalize the designs and all of that. So 12:30, I have a one-on-one call with her. So this is how we work basically. Studio is just for our like the storage that we have, the live that we do. This is the backdrop from where I do my lives, and we have a small office for the accounts. We have two storerooms. So my whole this home is converted into a proper studio.
Wow. Nice.
That's
So,
nice.
so I want to ask you, are there any collaborations or partnership that you are considering to help you take your brand to the global stage? Are you thinking about that, or are there
Yeah,
that
we are
part in the
thinking.
plan, or
We are thinking. We have many people. Like one client in the US. She's based in New Jersey, so she has a store in New Jersey. Okay,
Mm.
so she wants to buy stuff from us.
I see.
All right. So she does. She buys a lot of stuff from us and she wants to put it in her store. Like, she has a proper store in New Jersey. So we definitely want to do that. Some of them she gets it stitched from us. Some of the saris she just buys, we do the finishing and send it to her. So we are looking forward to such kind of collabs out
Mm.
of
Mm.
the country, within the country. Like we have a couple of people in Mumbai also who run their studios. They do something else, but they want to keep our kaftans or they want to keep some of our stuff. So we do that. That is
So
what.
besides, I know you mentioned kaftans and shawls, and I guess you carry saris, and
Yes.
what else? What else do y'all carry?
We do fabrics.
Fabrics. That's
Okay.
Yeah, lot of our basic is fabrics like cotton, silk, you name it, and art form like all in Kutch. Like what I'm wearing is shibori, then bandage, then we have a kalamkari, which is all hand painted. Then we have jamdani weaving from West Bengal. So we do have a lot of fabrics. We have suits, we have dupattas, we have saris, and we have little art forms. I don't have anything right now, but we make artisan bells also. The big
Mm.
bell which has embroidery on it and you
All
hang
right.
it in your house. Then we also do a lot of miniature paintings
I see.
mm.
in
Yeah.
kalamkaris, and they are like there's a like how the Airbnb is. We have homestays here in India. So
Mm.
there's a homestay in Kutch who buys kalamkaris from us, and she uses it on her on her homestays, like the walls of her homestays decorated by our miniature paintings.
Mm.
Nice.
So we do a lot of that as well.
So,
Very
so
interesting.
what would you like to give? What advice would you like to give to women who want to enter into the fashion or textile industry? Um, but they feel daunted by the challenges, right? Because you've already gone through those phase. I say, as a business coach, I always say the first 2 years are the initial stage of the business where we struggle, we learn, we grow. And once you're out of that 2 year phase, then you know kind of what you're doing. and you learn from all your mistakes and you grow from those. So what is that? What advice would you like to give that women that are
There
trying
are
to
only
do this?
there are only two things which I want to say. One is never give up, whatever
Absolutely.
challenges you get,
Absolutely.
and always keep your vision at the highest. I'm not talking about the numbers. Numbers are important, but if you are having a higher goal, then definitely you can achieve the numbers very easily. But never give up and never consider your age as a drawback. Oh, I'm 48. How am I supposed to start? Or where do I start? You know,
Absolutely, absolutely. Age is not, that should not stop you in achieving your goals in your life. So that's, I think we've talked in one of our podcasts about that. So that reminds us that. But yeah, age should not stop you in achieving your dreams. So definitely, that's a very good
because
thing.
I know that US people are like always working, even when they are, about to deliver and they drive themselves to the hospital. I have friends who have done that, okay? Or maybe
I've
you
done
guys
that.
have done it.
I've
I
done
know,
that.
maybe you guys have done it exactly. But in Mumbai or in India, if you look at the culture, the women become a little back, they take a back step, they think, oh, they are aging,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So that is one thing which I would really say. Age is not a factor. You can do anything. Just have your goals clear and never give up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, for our listeners who are eager to learn more, where can they find your products or connect with the Breathing Fabrics company, or get more information about you? What would be the easiest way?
So easiest way is we have our handles, Vithika Curated Weaves
Okay.
by Shruti and Mona on Instagram. And you can join us there, follow us there. If you have any queries, we have our number put in there. You can message us, and we are very prompt in replying back to you. And we would be happy to help anyone who would want to know more about Indian handicrafts and this form of art, which
Yeah,
is like so
that's
that is the easiest way to get in touch. And we have, of course, our phone numbers which are there,
And
and
I'll
you
put
can
all
get
the
in touch with
details
us.
on our podcast description. So even if our audience
Yeah,
want to get any information, they can see it in our description of the podcast and they'll get the
right.
information. So do you have any upcoming exhibitions, pop-ups on anything that is coming
So
up?
we have started very exciting thing. We so we do exhibition. We just had one last week. We were in Kerala, in Calicut. We have a very beautiful clientele there, and every year we go there with a very loving people, and they love our art forms and all of that. So we just completed that. But besides that, we do a lot of destination lives. So we were in Banaras 15 days ago with our
Mhm.
weaver. From the loom itself, we did the live. And we did fantastic sales in that.
Wow.
Fantastic. And we are still getting orders on that. So now the next one I'm going is the coming Monday. Like today is a Tuesday. Next Monday, I'm going to Yevla, which is in Maharashtra near Shirdi, Nasik, where they do Paitani saris and Paitani dupattas and
Oh,
Paitani
wow.
stuff.
Yeah, I love
So we
Paitani.
are, yeah. So we are going to do destination lives from Paitani. For
I'll
Paitani from
definitely
Yevla.
watch that because I love that. I love
Yeah.
Paitani.
So that's upcoming.
Hi.
That's upcoming. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so
Nice.
nice.
One
Girls,
one thing struck me when you said that gharchola only made in cotton. But
yeah.
these days, are like, oh, pure gharchola made in silk. So I don't think that's real.
No, they're
It's
not
not.
made in silk. They're made in cotton silk, but not never pure silk, right,
Yeah, they are
Shruti?
made in pure silk now. They are. They are made in pure silk.
Oh, okay.
Nowadays they are, but
I
it is
didn't know.
not meant to be. It
Yeah,
is
that's
not
what I'm
meant to
saying.
be.
It's either cotton or it's cotton silk, but not pure silk.
It's never cotton silk. Cotton silk, if somebody tells you it's a cotton silk, you believe that it's a mixed up fabric. It is purely in
I'll
cotton.
have
And
to.
trust me, I've been married from 27 years. I have this garchola, which is 27 years old. And it is real zari with 1 inch lagadi patta in between, the
Mhm.
checks which are in real zari, and not even a side stone. And I never ever press it. There's no need to iron.
Yeah.
I have an heirloom patola, real Patan patola, the double ikat ones, which are about 1.5 lakhs. We also deal in that. I have my mother's. You know my mother, Arti. You must have
Yeah.
seen her. So she has that. She has. I have inherited that. And when I started working with this patola artisans, I showed them my patola. They said this patola dates back to 175 years,
Oh,
Wow.
wow. It's been
and
Wow.
it
passed on.
is still not torn. I still wear it. You know,
Oh, wow. That's
Wow.
the
Beautiful.
amazing thing about the traditional ethnic wears because, you know, I love saris. If you come to my closet, I have 100 saris. I actually counted them. I have 100 saris, but never enough for a woman. If you know, if you
never.
love saris, it's never enough for a woman. But I like wearing traditional. I don't like wearing too much into the fashion kind of a saris because that gets old very fast. So I don't wear those kind of saris. I wear traditional. But I want to really, because this actually makes me get to know more about the fabric now. And so now I want to get more of like a traditional saris.
And you know where to go, Arti.
Yes, now I know where to
Yeah.
buy it from too.
Yes.
So
There's a lot of transition. Like, the kalamkaris were initially done only on cotton, because
mm.
it's the hand painting with organic colors. Now, because
Does
they
that
want to,
fade away though? Let me ask you that. Does that hand painting fade away?
it does fade away because it's all organic colors, but there's a way to preserve it. If you put it in a mull cloth and you put the silica gel packets in that and keep it, put sandalwood pouches, because it gives out a very foul smell. For some, the smell is very amazing because they dip it in the buffalo milk, and it's difficult to get rid of the smell
Oh,
initially.
okay.
But as in how you wash it, you put it open in the sun, like not in the direct sunlight, but just keep it open for a few
Yeah,
hours.
let it air a
It
little
just
bit.
fades. Yeah, it just like to just air it out. But
Mm.
now they're transcending on fabrics like organza. And there's one you must have, I bet, not heard about it. There's a fabric called kala cotton.
Kala
The
cotton.
women, kala cotton, yeah. Kala cotton, people think it is the cotton's color is black. People think like that. But it's not like that. That's the world's most sustainable kind of cotton. Even Zara has now started working on that. It is grown only in Kutch in a black soil region. So that's why Kala, black soil.
Oh,
And
I
they
see.
don't use any fertilizer, they don't use any pesticide, and they
It's
do not
organic.
use any irrigation. Only natural rains is the way to get it. And the once you will wear Kala cotton, I bet you, whichever part of the world you are, you won't like anything else. It is so, so, so organic.
Wow.
Yeah,
Definitely need to try those. Wow.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
something I've learned so much about fabric today that I had no idea of. And
That's
this
true.
is funny because you know, we were talking about it before you got onto the call. Um, I was like, I have slightest idea of different fabrics and the ethnic wears and stuff because it's been many years since we moved to US
Yeah.
and I kind of lost the touch of it as well. I don't come to India that often either. But knowing about the different fabrics and knowing how what the art is called, I don't know, I have never got into that, but I guess today was a very educational, inspiring podcast about all this different fabrics and different arts and everything. So this is great. This is really amazing. Girls, do you have any other questions for Shruti?
No, I would just say that this has been really informative, and I am really appreciative that you're not only just building your business off of the fabrics that you create, but also sharing education and sharing what you've learned through this process because I think that's the biggest gift is really educating others about what you're learning in the process and the passion that you speak when of fabrics that you've learned and also about the new techniques and also the blocks. I think it's just been really enlightening. So I just appreciate your time today to kind of talk to us. And not just us, but all our listeners. And I'm sure this is going to lead to a lot of us doing a lot more research before we buy something.
And if you
Absolutely.
and if you do not have any Google ideas, you can call me anytime.
Yeah, now we have the contact where to get a proper material and sustainable and eco-friendly and a good material, right? So now we know
Yes.
where to get
Yes.
that.
Yep.
But
No,
saying,
very enlightening. Thank you so much.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Wow, what an inspiring conversation today. Shruti, I thank you so much for sharing your incredible journey with us, and it's truly amazing to see how you've combined tradition, sustainability, and community empowerment to create something as meaningful as Vithika Curated Weaves. And again, that's another word that I learned today, that the Sanskrit word. So even your name is such, I would say, got so much tradition and meaning to it. It's just fascinating. Your passion for preserving the art of textile, Indian textile, while supporting weavers and NGOs is nothing short of extraordinary. Um, your dedication to keeping our cultural heritage alive while also embracing innovation is a beautiful reminder of how much can be achieved by creativity and purpose come together. Um, to all our listeners, if you want to learn more about Shruti and Mona's journey and explore the stunning collection from their Vithika culture curated weaves, you can follow them on their social media, which we will be posting along with this podcast. And supporting brands like these not only helps us connect with our heritage, but also empowers the hands and hearts behind every creation. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Global Desi Women. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends, family, and anyone who loves meaningful stories and beautiful textiles, of course. And if you've enjoyed this conversation, leave us a review of your favorite podcast on your favorite podcast platforms. We are on multiple platforms like Apple and Amazon and Spotify, and you can listen to many, many different platforms. But please leave us a review and share and subscribe. And until next time, this is Arti along with my co-host Bhavana and Karishma Shelley signing off. Keep embracing our culture, breaking barriers, and inspiring the world. See you all next time. Thank you.
Thank you.